No handshake, no deal, no bandhan within the Mahagathbandhan so far, because the seat-sharing deal is yet to be finalised. The nomination deadline looms large. It's tomorrow, less than 24 hours to go essentially for candidates to file their nomination. And there's a very small window now for the alliance to get their act together, to go ahead and announce what their seat-sharing deal is going to be. Otherwise, many of the candidates will stand to lose out with challenges in their nomination. That will mean that that seat goes uncontested, which is why right now the focus is on whether they'll be able to crack some sort of formula or not. But amid that, the news break that's coming in is that VIP's Mukesh Sahni has written to Rahul Gandhi, urging him to intervene, to say that VIP remains in the Mahagathbandhan. So Mukesh Sahni is saying that Rahul Gandhi must intervene to ensure that the party doesn't leave the Mahagathbandhan. In that letter that we've accessed here on India Today, Mukesh Sahni has said that he is committed to the India bloc ideology and that seats don't matter for him. He says, I first wanted 35, I've brought that down to 18 plus 2. This letter, which is with us here on India Today, the VIP chief says there's misinformation that his party is not participating in seat-sharing talks. So he wants Rahul Gandhi to intervene now to kind of clear out all of the confusion and chaos. Mind you, today, Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge have had a conversation with Lalu Yadav to try and go ahead and iron out all differences. Okay, let's bring in at this point Rahul Gautam. He's joining us live from Delhi with more details on this. Rahul, take us through the details of this particular letter that Mukesh Sahni has written to Rahul Gandhi. What is he trying to convey here? That he wants to stay in the alliance or that he wants more seats?
Well, Akshita, this letter was written around 11 a.m. this morning, and we all know that how there are several apprehensions that Mukesh Sahni will leave Mahagathbandhan. But in this letter, which has been accessed by India Today, Mukesh Sahni clearly says that that he is very much part of India bloc, and in fact, he has already come down from 35 seats to 18 seats. In fact, he also urged Rahul Gandhi to please ensure that VIP remains intact with Mahagathbandhan. This letter was, what we are learning from our sources, was written after intervention of Dipankar Bhattacharya, who is the chief of CPI-ML, who in fact spoke with Rahul Gandhi that we should retain VIP and should ensure that he stays with Mahagathbandhan. And after this point of time, VIP, Mukesh Sahni, he wrote this letter, and in fact, in a way, he pledged his commitment towards India bloc ideology. As far as India bloc is concerned, you can expect now that any time the first list of Congress party would be released. And
Rahul,
one thing is very important.
You know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because I can assure you that almost in every broadcast of the news track yesterday, day before, we were hearing any moment now. What's changed now? What actually makes us believe, or makes you believe, Rahul, as someone who covers the Congress, that it's going to happen this time?
Well, you know, we all know the time is running out, and 3 p.m. is the last deadline tomorrow when the nomination will end for the first phase. So therefore, it is imperative upon Mahagathbandhan alliance partners to at least release the list, or at least give us the numbers as to who is contesting on how many seats, and which seats have been going to contested by who. So this clearly, there seems to be confusion prevailing at this point of time, but at least at this point of time, Congress is claiming that everything is sorted between RJD and Congress, and anytime soon now, a list will be released. And that's why you see that RJD and Congress, they both are releasing symbols already.
Correct.
Congress has already released to 18 candidates, and similarly, RJD is also releasing symbols to their candidates. So at this point of time, they're trying to, bring a consensus on board as far as Mahagathbandhan is concerned. But you rightly pointed out that we are also getting dates, every day, that today we are going to release the list, but that's not happening, and that's clearly, as a failure for Mahagathbandhan, because in terms of optics, they are clearly lagging behind NDA, who has already released list, and they have declared all 243 candidates. So as far as in terms of political messaging, It seems that Mahagathbandhan has clearly failed in sending a message of opposition unity in Bihar.
You're right. It's terrible messaging. It's optics matter in politics, especially in election season. And right now, it's terrible optics, because it suggests essentially that the opposition alliance doesn't have their act together. And that's why they're cutting it so fine that we're just less than 24 hours, honestly, to go for their deadline. We're seeing all of this talk of anytime now list to be out. But I'll ask Rahul as well as Piyush to stay on with us. Let's break down for our viewers all the updates that have come in the last few hours. I'll highlight again that tomorrow's the last day of nomination filing and there's still no sign of a seat-sharing formula. The alliance, however, says we're confident we'll win, but that the seat-sharing issue is something they're still figuring out. And that's because there's a deadlock on really who gets how much, who gets how many seats. Now, the questions that come to the fore here is, has the Mahagathbandhan left it too late to actually go ahead and seal the deal? Is the alliance's unity just for show? Because when it comes down to it, you saw all of these pictures of Rahul and Tejaswi together, the Voter Adhikar Yatra, where you had both of them throughout. But when it comes down to the seat-sharing deal, they've been unable to just get together, sit down, put their heads together and figure out what's going wrong. Now, will ego clashes within the opposition cost them the election? Optics matter. This isn't the best of optics. Can a divided alliance really take on a united NDA? Just contrast the fact that the NDA has not just announced a seat-sharing deal, they've gone ahead and announced their candidates for all of those seats as well. And on the other hand, here there's still confusion of who's contesting which party from which seat. Are smaller allies losing out in this tug of war? In the Mahagathbandhan itself, one of the big issues is over the VIP.
कोई एमएलए मुख्यमंत्री और सरकार बनाने की बात नहीं है, बल्कि हम लोगों को बिहार बनाने का काम करना है। और हम लोग नए सोच के हैं, नया बिहार बनाना है। पढ़ाई, दवाई, कमाई, सिंचाई, सुनवाई और कार्रवाई वाली सरकार। तेजस्वी की उम्र कच्ची हो सकती है पर जुबान पक्की है। जो कहा है वो किया है, जो कह रहे हैं वो करेंगे। और हम सब लोग मिलकर के नया सरकार तो बनाएंगे ही बनाएंगे।
Okay, Piyush Mishra is getting us the latest updates as well from Patna. Piyush, the question that also comes up here is what will happen with the likes of the VIP? Will they be given what they want? What's really the sticking point as far as the VIP's demands are concerned? Are we going to, when that list comes out later today, see an RJD Congress alliance and still see a question mark over the others, the smaller allies?
Well, Akshita, as far as Mukesh Sahni's VIP is concerned, what we are told is that he is already in touch with Rahul Gandhi. He is requesting Rahul Gandhi to intervene in the seat-sharing formula and announce the final formula for Mahagathbandhan. But today we also spoke to various BJP leaders, and Samrat Chaudhary, while he was filing his nomination, we spoke to him about the chaos which is there in Mahagathbandhan. He said that, okay, we have had our seat-sharing formula decided. We have also decided who will contest on which seat. But if Mukesh Sahni wants to support us without taking part in any kind of seat allocation, then he can do so. So, at such times, your opposition always, take such a jibe at it, at you, and that's what Samrat Chaudhary is now doing. As far as NDA is concerned, they have already decided, all their seats. They have already announced the candidates on all these seats. We were seeing as to how the NDA was struggling to announce their candidates in the initial phase, but now dust is settled and now NDA leaders are also hitting the ground.
So let's talk about, and Piyush, stay with me, let's talk about what really could happen next, the possible scenarios of what we could see in the Mahagathbandhan figuring out their seat-sharing deal. First, maybe the VIP chooses to exit the Mahagathbandhan, in which case then you will see a redistribution of the proposed handful of seats, which is about 15 to 18 is what our sources tell us. That will be redistributed among the RJD and the Congress. But it will be a setback if VIP chooses to leave. Possibility number two is that the Congress may have to compromise on seats and importantly on the CM face, because one of the other contentious issues is that while you have every party of the Mahagathbandhan agreeing that they will go ahead and endorse Tejaswi Yadav as the CM face, the Congress so far has refused to commit to that. So they could just concede and go ahead and project Tejaswi Yadav as the CM face. But for that, the RJD also may have to step down. So another possibility is that the RJD may actually go ahead and convince the Congress to settle for the Deputy Chief Minister post. So far what we're hearing is that the RJD doesn't want any announcement over Deputy CM post. But could that actually change? I want to bring in Rahul Gautam on this. He tracks, of course, the Congress for us very closely. So, Rahul, I want to understand from you that if there's a compromise formula worked out, would that factor in the Congress perhaps agreeing to endorse Tejaswi Yadav as the CM face of the Mahagathbandhan?
Well, what we're learning from our sources that Akshita, number is not a problem for Congress party, and broadly there is consensus between RJD and Congress that that Congress will be contesting somewhere around 60 seats. Now the problem is that multiple seats are being contested, are being demanded by both RJD and Congress. For example, there's a seat called Kailgaon, Jale, Narkatiyaganj. Now, these seats are being demanded both by Congress and RJD, and that has become a bone of contention between the two parties. And that's why you see this delay is happening. And that's why the broader consensus has been that you please release symbols to your candidates on which there has been a broader consensus. That's why you see RJD and Congress, they both are distributing symbols. See, we have to really understand that if VIP exits from Mahagathbandhan, then Congress is prepared to contest on around 70 to 75 seats. But if he is going to be accommodated and adjusted, that Congress will not go below 60 to 61, as they are saying that if a party which does not even have one single MP or MLA is going to get 18 seats or 20 seats, then we are as a party, national party, with 100 Lok Sabha MPs, 25 Rajya Sabha MPs, 17 MLAs in Bihar Assembly, then we at least deserve 60 seats. And that has become a, bone of contention. Now, we are learning from our sources that, the major issues have already been sorted out between RJD and Congress. And in fact, anytime now, maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow, the seat sharing formula would be announced. But clearly, as I was telling you earlier also, political messaging is something which they have clearly failed, because NDA, we all know that how numbers are already out. We all know candidates there. But as far as Mahagathbandhan is concerned, everything is still in air, and that's
they've hit. The sense I get, Rahul, is that they've hit the panic button now. They should have ideally pressed the panic button 48 hours ago, because not just is this terrible messaging, it also, brings things down to the wire. If there is any problem with a candidate's nomination form, there's so little time for him or her to tweak it that it could lead to many seats not actually having a candidate as well. And these are issues that haven't been factored in at all for now. Thanks very much, Piyush, Rahul, for joining us on this broadcast. Rahul tells us in some time from now, very shortly, we can expect that there will be a seat-sharing deal that's released. Well, the Mahagathbandhan will have to do it, because 3 p.m. tomorrow is the cutoff for nominations to be filed. And so if they miss that deadline, means they don't have any candidates at all in most of the seats. So they know full well that the next few hours, perhaps tomorrow morning, is the last time when they can actually go ahead and figure out whatever issues they have as far as the seat-sharing deal is concerned. But focusing on Bihar, let's get you the biggest interview this political and this election season. The nominations for the first phase of Bihar elections on the 6th of November. That's when the first phase happens. It officially closes tomorrow. So the election fever is upon us, and we spoke to Amit Shah. This was an exclusive at the Bihar Panchayat. Here's an excerpt when Amit Shah was asked about who will be the chief minister if the NDA comes to power. He keeps up the CM suspense. Listen in.
विपक्ष ये कह रहा है कि 101 सीट पर जेडीयू लड़ रही है, आप 142 सीट पर लड़ रहे हैं, क्योंकि चाहे 29 चिराग पासवान हो, 6 मांझी जी हो, 6 कुशवाहा हो, वो सब आपके साथ ही हैं।
देखिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी का ये हमेशा आदत रहा है छोटे दलों को अपमानित करना। किसी भी पार्टी को उनकी सीटें बड़ी पार्टी में मर्ज कर गिनाना, मैं मानता हूं छोटी पार्टियों का अपमान है। और कांग्रेस ने शुरुआत से ही ये किया है, इसीलिए कई सारे राज्यों में कांग्रेस आज दिखाई भी नहीं पड़ती है। मैं राज्य गिनाना चाहता हूं, जरा ध्यान से सुन लीजिएगा। बिहार में कांग्रेस कहीं नहीं है, उत्तर प्रदेश कांग्रेस कहीं नहीं है, तमिलनाडु कांग्रेस कहीं नहीं है, बंगाल कांग्रेस कहीं नहीं है। इस तरह से बड़े बड़े राज्य जो देश की लोकसभा का, देश की सबसे बड़ी पंचायत का 50% हिस्सा तय करते हैं, वहां कांग्रेस पार्टी समाप्त हो गई। ये अप्रोच के कारण ही समाप्त हो गई। कभी उनको राज्य छोटे लगते हैं, कभी उनको पार्टियां छोटी लगती है, और व्यक्ति तो उनके परिवार के अलावे सभी छोटे लगते हैं। तो छोटा कर कर देखना, छोटा कर कर मूल्यांकन करना, इसी ने कांग्रेस पार्टी को ही जाते जाते छोटा कर दिया।
अब जो सबसे बड़ा और मौजूद सवाल है बिहार का सर, उसको निपटा लेते हैं पहले। नीतीश कुमार को क्या आप मुख्यमंत्री बनाएंगे अगर एनडीए जीतता है तो?
अंजना जी, मालूम नहीं आप कैसा सवाल पूछ रहे हो। मैं भला कौन होता हूं किसी को मुख्यमंत्री बनाने वाला? इतनी सारी पार्टियों का गठबंधन है, चुनाव के बाद जब बैठेंगे सभी दल, विधायक दल के नेता बैठेंगे और अपना नेता तय कर लेंगे। अभी हम नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में ही चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं और हमारे चुनाव का नेतृत्व नीतीश कुमार जी ही कर रहे हैं।
और अगर आपके विधायक ज्यादा हो गए तो?
अभी भी ज्यादा है, अभी ज्यादा ही है।
ये बहुत बड़ी हेडलाइन दे रहे हैं आप, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है।
नहीं नहीं, आप समझ नहीं रहे हो, अभी भी हमारे ज्यादा है, फिर भी नीतीश कुमार जी मुख्यमंत्री है।
हाँ, जैसा पिछली बार तो आपने उनको बनाया था और उन्होंने ऑन रिकॉर्ड कहा था, ये मुझे फडणवीस जी ने भी इंटरव्यू में कहा कि नहीं, वो कह रहे थे मत बनाओ, पर बीजेपी ने बनाया। क्या इस बार जो आपने महाराष्ट्र में किया,
देखिए
वो कर सकते हैं बिहार में?
ऐसा है अंजना जी, राजनीति आपकी टीआरपी के लिए नहीं चल सकती। आप कह रही हो कि भाई आप ज्यादा आए तो क्या, मैंने कह दिया हम ज्यादा आए तो भी ये बने हैं। आपने पूछा आगे क्या होगा, तो मैंने प्रक्रिया समझा दी कि सभी विधायक बैठेंगे, सभी विधायक दल के बैठे नेता बैठेंगे, सभी दल बैठेंगे और तय करेंगे।
नीतीश कुमार पर आपको कितना भरोसा है? ट्रस्ट फैक्टर आपका कैसा है? और मैं इसलिए पूछ रही हूँ कि 2 बार तो सर उन्होंने धोखा दिया ही आपको।
देखिए, नीतीश कुमार जी भारत की राजनीति के बहुत प्रमुख नेता हैं और उनके जीवन का पूरा कालखंड कभी वो कांग्रेस में नहीं रहे और कांग्रेस के साथ में रहने का उनका रिकॉर्ड भी कभी भी 2.5 साल से लंबा नहीं रहा। तो मैं मानता हूं कि इसी व्यक्ति के जीवन का अगर मूल्यांकन करना है तो एक बड़े हिस्से को लेकर ही करना चाहिए। और ठेठ समाजवादी नेता हैं, इनके राजनीतिक जन्म से ही कांग्रेस का विरोध करते रहे हैं, जेएमपी आंदोलन के प्रमुख नेता रहे हैं और इमरजेंसी में भी अच्छी खासी लड़ाई कांग्रेस के खिलाफ लड़े हैं। तो मैं मानता हूं भरोसा भारतीय जनता पार्टी को तो है ही है, परंतु बिहार की जनता को भी है।
Let's get to another India Today exclusive. Prashant Kishor, founder of the Suraj party, spoke to India Today, the Bihar Panchayat, where he was asked about what chance really the Suraj has in the upcoming elections. Here's what he had to say.
आपको क्यों लग रहा है कि एनडीए का विकल्प तेजस्वी को नहीं देखा जाएगा बल्कि प्रशांत किशोर को देखा जाएगा? क्योंकि पिछली बार भी जीतते जीतते रह गए तेजस्वी।
पहली बात तो पिछली बार जीतते जीतते नहीं रह गए। चिराग पासवान का एक फैक्टर था
जी,
जिसको आप ब्लैक स्वॉन इवेंट कह सकते हैं, जो कभी एक बार लाइफ में हो जाता है। स्ट्रेटेजिकली चिराग पासवान की पार्टी ने सिर्फ जदयू की सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ा, जिससे 38 सीटों पर, जहां पर जदयू को जीतना चाहिए था वहां राजद जीत गई। अगर आप तेजस्वी के 74 सीट में 38 को माइनस कर देंगे तो जो उनका पार्टी का रियल ताकत है 25 से 30 सीट, वही आपको दिखता है। और ये सिर्फ मेरा हाइपोथेटिकल विश्लेषण नहीं है, उसका परिणाम आपको आगे लोकसभा चुनाव में भी दिखा। उतनी ही लोकसभा सीट आई जो कि 25 से 35 विधानसभा क्षेत्रों के बराबर है। इस बार वो व्यवस्था नहीं है, इस बार वो व्यवस्था नहीं है। इस बार अलग से कोई नहीं लड़ रहा है जो कि सिर्फ तेजस्वी के फायदे के लिए लड़ रहा हो। तो राजद की जो वोट शेयर है वो 25% के, 22 से लेके 30% के आसपास आप रख के चलिए। उसमें अगर लोग कह रहा है कि 2 गो 4 गो, ज्यादातर लोग कहता है एमवाई समीकरण है, कहता है 2 गो 4 गो यादव तो आपको दे रहा है, फिर कहता है भाई 2 गो 4 गो मुसलमान भी आपको दे रहा है। तो भाई अगर 2 गो 4 गो यादव 2 गो 4 गो मुसलमान वोट दे रहा है और उनका वोट 25 से 30% है, तो उसमें से 5% घटा दीजिए, तो देख लीजिए कि वो कहां रहेंगे, और 5% ऐड कर दीजिए जन सुराज में। आप सीधा लॉजिक की बात है। लोगों, मैंने कहा कि जेडीयू को 25 सीट नहीं आएगा, कैसे कह रहे हैं, तो हम उसके लिए कोई सर्वे नहीं कर रहे हैं। जदयू को 42 सीट आई थी पिछली बार, और नीतीश कुमार आज के मुकाबले ज्यादा सक्रिय, ज्यादा सचेत, ज्यादा बेहतर स्थिति में थे। एक चिराग पासवान की पार्टी जदयू के 110 सीटों पर अपने कैंडिडेट को बिना किसी तैयारी के उतार दिया, तो 42 पर आ गए। अब उन 110 सीटों पर प्रशांत किशोर जनसुराज ने प्रत्याशी उतारे हैं, हमने तैयारी के साथ उतारे हैं। नीतीश कुमार पहले से कमजोर है शारीरिक और मानसिक तौर पर, और 5 साल का एंटी इनकम्बेंसी भी है, तो 42 से ऊपर जाएंगे कि 42 से नीचे जाएंगे? कॉमन सेंस की बात है, नीचे ही जाएंगे, नीचे ही जाएंगे। आप कैसे भी देख लीजिए, यहां पर जो लोग चुनाव लड़ते रहे हैं उनका नुकसान होना तय है, उनका नुकसान होना तय है, कोई नहीं बचा सकता।
एक मोटे तौर पर सीट का अनुमान लगाएंगे एनडीए के लिए?
नहीं, मैं एनडीए के सीट का अनुमान नहीं लगा सकता हूं। मैं ये कह सकता हूं कि नीतीश कुमार को 25 से कम सीट आएगी।
अच्छा।
और भाजपा को पिछली बार आए 74 या 75 सीट से उनका नंबर कम होगा। तो उसके बाद आप एनडीए का जोड़ लीजिए जो भी हो। और तेजस्वी यादव को जितना आया था उसमें चिराग वाला फैक्टर हटा दीजिए, तो उतने ही पर रहेंगे, 25 से 35 के आसपास। आरजेडी को अपनी सीट उतनी ही आनी चाहिए।
That's all we have time for in this edition of News Track. Thanks very much for tuning in.